Welcome back to part 3 of Build an Elf. This is quite an adventure. Today, so remember last week we got this far. Or last video. I don't want to say last week because we've been slow. I'm slow, not Canon. So last video we got this far on our elf. This video we will complete the pants, the shoes. We're going to use a new multimedia tool. And I will show you how to make this boot, and we'll do his little stockings. So I know this doesn't look like much, but it takes time. And we'll get started. We'll put some pants on the other guy first, since I already have pants on this guy. And I will show you how to do that. And then we'll build his shoes. And we'll go from there. So first we're going to start with some jackpot green. You can use any dark green. Well, it doesn't even have to be green. You don't even have to make this into an elf, you know. You can make it into whatever you want, but mine is going to be an elf. I'm going to put this ruler aside for right now. So just to dress him, the main goal is just to get your pants on. Get your pants on, get your pants on. We're going to just wrap. You got to cover this core wool and blend it all in so it's nice and smooth. He's kind of wearing little elf knickers. The ones that I'm doing. And I go down to where the knee is. And we'll get this all on here. I just want to show you how I put his pants on. And I will probably put the stockings on next and do the feet last. And you'll understand why. I did it reverse on mine. And didn't work quite out. Boy, it's been 2 weeks, right, Cannon? See, I was at Black Sheep Gathering, right? Or did we film after Black Sheep?
We filmed after Black Sheep, actually. We've been on track, I think, a week per video.
We filmed after Black Sheep?
Yeah. It was like a Monday.
Man.
After Meetup Monday, you know?
I didn't think we did. Oh, maybe we did. No, we didn't. We missed last week.
It's possible.
It is very possible because
Summer's been flying by. June was here and there.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, because I didn't get to talk about Black Sheep because Lamborghini won the big kahuna.
Sounds like a news story.
What? So my big lamb, my perfect boy, his name is Artemis. He was the very first one born this year and he was 22 pounds. He was huge. And I talk about it's because I don't own him anymore. He went to a new pasture. But he got champion ram against all the big rams. He would get out there and he would just put his head up like, I am the stuff. It was pretty funny. The people at the table were calling him Lamborghini. He was standing that well.
Oh, wow, okay.
Like, yeah. They're like, Lamborghini. He's a pretty boy. He was very, very pretty. I put pictures of him on the thing. That's probably why you remember it. On the group. Yeah, he was trained. He actually was very well halter broke. Funny story though. I had Lamborghini and I had Artemis, and Bentley had Archer, my little black guy, and I had cookies in my hand. And I was baiting my sheep. So he was licking the cookie. He really was.
Legal?
Huh? Well, Bentley is 13, okay? And he helps me. He's fantastic. And he's like, hey, she's cheating. I said, doesn't say I can't bait my sheep. It was pretty funny. I couldn't bait my ewe lamb, though, because she would go crazy for the cookies. She would climb over my head trying to get them. She didn't calmly just stand there and lick the cookie like Artemis. She wanted the cookie. And we took first place in pair of ram lambs, first place in pair of ewe lambs, and first place young flock. It came out quite well. That's perfect for me.
Sounds nice.
It was good. And we saw our sheep friends. It was good. I was sad I didn't get to enter anything in the fiber arts, but I was happy that my friend Carolyn got a first place and the best felting award because it was very good. Her piece was very good. It was a very good thing. So if you have a county fair, I'm talking to all my viewers here. If you have a county fair or you have a fiber fair, enter your felted items, or the state fair. Enter your items. Enter what you make so that you can inspire the next generation of felters. That's why I enter. I don't really care if I win. It's always cool. But I don't care because it's not about winning. It's about inspiring. So as you can see, I am just covering up his core wool. And I'm only going to the knees. You have to decide where your knees are. And his knees are going to be about right there. And I'm not going to I'll make a cuff afterwards along the edge here. I can show you that. I didn't make a cuff. Did I make a cuff on the second side? No, I didn't. I just wanted to show you how to cover these. I'm sure you're getting the idea. I'm going to, disclaimer, remember, again, you guys, I am not a humanoid form felter. It's not my expertise. So I'm doing my best to show you how I would do it. And I'm sure there's other videos out there that have tips and things. So what else is going on? It's hot. What was the temperature when you came over, Cannon?
You know, I drove the old Corolla and it doesn't even tell me the temperature.
No! You don't take your newer vehicles out on hot days?
I do. I've been driving my new car a lot. Like I took it to Ashland last night and I've been going back and forth from here in Grants Pass a lot. So
yeah.
I just try to save the miles when I can. So I came out here in the little Corolla.
Yeah, I think it's just that he doesn't like my gravel driveway.
No, it's not bad.
I'm kidding.
That is why I don't bring the Corvette here, though.
I do know that. Well, we don't have that much gravel, and it's packed pretty well.
It is, yeah.
It's not like it's a mud pit or anything. I'm very excited. We're getting our sod for my front yard on Saturday. I'm so excited. I'm going to have a front yard. It's been a dream for 5 years. I'm just making it happen.
Yeah, it'll be nice. We can show the viewers when it's done.
Yeah, we can.
It's right out the front door here that we felt out of.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the front of my shop. You know, until now, I've just had like this dirt lot out there. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice.
It'll be, and then I'll finish the gardens. They're out there. Yeah, it's exciting. John is not very excited. I was cruising around. You know how you cruise around on Instagram, and I saw this awesome patio design where they built forms for like these flowers, and they poured the concrete in them, and then they used stain on the flowers. So it was really cool. And I was like, so John, he's like, oh no. He's like, woman, can you just take a break? Well, he's the concrete guy. I can be the stain person. Somehow I think my job would be easier than his job. I can paint. I can paint. Yeah, I love this new green. This is Jackpot Green. I love it. It's the best forest color green in my collection of colors. It's relatively new. So basically, I'm just getting the wool on here right now, and then I'm going to stab the heck out of it. let's just get it all covered. Speaking of John, he has to work nights for a little bit. He is not excited.
Does that like flip the schedule around?
Well, it's worse than you think. So he goes to work at 10 and he doesn't come home until the next day's work is done. And then he just goes to bed. Oh, yeah, we're going to have, it's the next couple weeks.
Yeah, it's super random.
It is. So sometimes it's because of, oh, you know that construction they're doing on Highway 62?
Yeah.
That's
By the mall area?
I don't think it's that far down. Might be Highway 62.
Yeah.
Well, they're replacing some pipes or something, and they can only work at night. You see?
Yeah.
Because Highway 62 is so busy.
Yeah, I came across that a couple times.
Yeah.
Like past midnight. Because when I try to drive to In-N-Out, that's when they're doing the work.
Wait a minute.
Late night.
In-N-Out at midnight?
Yeah, it's the best time to go is late night In-N-Out.
What?
Yeah, they're open till 1:30.
Oh my gosh, I could not eat a hamburger that late at night.
It's so good.
I barely can eat a hamburger after 4 o'clock.
It's always busy at nighttime there too, all the way up until they close.
Serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the hangout spot. Honestly.
True confessions, I have not been to the Medford In-N-Out. There's something in my wool. What is
Crazy.
that? What is that? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, I have not been to the Medford In-N-Out. Well, you know I don't eat a lot of fast food.
Right.
I don't. We did eat a lot of junk food at Black Sheep. And a lot of vanilla breves, which is, my go-to. Keep me motivated. It was perfect weather. It was beautiful.
That's good.
Yeah. So is it beautiful around here? No, we have so much forest fires that have started today. Let's hope they get them out. We had quite the lightning storm last night. Did your power go out?
Yeah, I did.
For about an hour?
I was in the shower
Oh.
getting ready to leave, and it went out mid-shower, and then...
But your water stays on.
Yeah, it was fine.
So if you were at our house and the power went out, your water go off.
Really?
Yeah, it's happened. You end up with soap in your hair. You're like, okay, now what do we do?
Yeah.
You fire up the generator. That's what you do.
But by the time I got back home, it was back on.
Oh.
But there was a lot of trees that got took down power lines and whatnot all throughout the valley. So
You were driving in that lightning storm?
I I didn't see any of that. I just saw it online, and I work, with the internet company. So a ton of people were without internet calling in.
Oh, serious? Yeah. Wait a minute, at night?
No, today.
Oh, today.
Yeah, it was like the aftermath of the storm.
Oh, so you were busy today.
All day.
But that's
from 8 to 5.
That's better than not having any calls, right?
Nope.
Were they mad?
Yeah.
Serious?
Some people understand, and then some people just expect us to control the weather. So it's kind of
Are you
crazy.
allowed to say things like that?
No.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm just thinking about our old job and all the things we couldn't say.
Right.
If something happens, well, what about those floods in Texas? Oh my gosh. So many things. I got drawn into it. And then I got very sad. I'm sorry about the bruises on my arms and stuff, you guys. I've been handling sheep. I have one in a hospital pen right now. The dangers of foxtails. If you don't know what foxtails are, they're a weed. And they make these little... You know what a foxtail is? They stick in your socks.
Yeah.
They look like little arrows if you pull them out. And you can only pull them out from the way they went in, the other side. Right? Karina got one stuck, apparently. She was eating grass, and there was foxtails. and it got stuck between her teeth. So, you know, when they get in dog paws and stuff, they're really bad. They do major damage because they go right through the skin. Anyways, she had to have a little veterinary assistance because she got an abscess on her face.
Ouch.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. You really don't want me to tell the details. It was yucky. The problem is it went all the way through. Yeah.
It's tough life being an animal.
Tough like being a sheep sometimes. But however, I think she's like, more grain, please. So I think part of her hates being in the hospital pen because she has to have penicillin. And part of her likes being in the hospital pen because the minute she sees me, she starts yelling for her candy. Like, hello, I'm starving in here. When she has a full hay basket. I do feel a little bit bad because the barn is warm. They have fans, though. So I'm just smoothing out all of this. You can make them have a really good butt, however, what kind of butt you want. But, you know, think about the way people look when they're wearing pants. From behind. And if you want them to have muscular legs, you could make muscles. Mine just go straight up and down. So the shoe method I'm going to show you here pretty soon. I learned from a friend, Carolyn St. Clair. You guys have probably seen her work. Her most recent amazing work is The Couple on the Couch. She does elderly people very, very well. I should have her do a face class. When we do the hands, she's going to be a guest felter.
Nice.
Yes, when we do the hands of this guy, she's going to demo the hands because we have something very special to show you. I should get the new tool in the mail this week, at least a prototype of it. I was talking to our maker of the tool today. She was ready to kill me because we changed the design. She's like, here, I got the prototype. And I'm like, well, we redid it. So it's pretty fun. It's going to make your life easy when it comes to making hands. It's something like you've never seen. I have a little light spot. Okay, so basically you get the idea. We just want green pants. Okay, I end mine at the knees because I'm going to put on some socks. Now, let's talk about these socks because this, and I'm going to do this. I'll put the white on here, but we're going to put the sock on the other guy since he already has white on him. So I'm using snow. This is snow. And there's batting form, and this is roving form. I kind of floof it up to use it because I don't need it super thick. So one of my pet peeves is about legs. I don't like my legs to be super thick. I think I like them to be skinny legs. But that's just my style. You know, remember, when you're felting, find your niche and stick to it. So, you know, you have your little calf muscle here. You can build that up. So I am just going to wrap this thinly. Okay, remember when you're covering core wool with white wool, sometimes it's a good idea to take it outside in the sunlight because you'll be able to see if you missed any spots. I'm listening to my guardian dog. Did you hear them? They're barking at something.
Yeah.
Might be
They
some.
usually bark at anything that walks by.
Well, it's their job.
Yeah.
It's the other night they were barking, and there were 6 raccoons eating my cat food.
Oh my god.
A whole family. Some big ones, some little ones. I swear, they hear the cat food hit the bowl, and 20 minutes later, they're cleaning out my bowls.
Is it on like an auto feeder or something, or they just listen?
No, I feed them when I come in.
Oh.
So I go out and feed the dogs, put the chickens away. I have to put the chickens away because, you know, they're not that smart yet. Because they have an auto door. And I get out there, and by the time I'm out there, the door is closed. And they're like, hey, we want to go in. I'm like, guys, pay attention to the time. In their defense, however, I do have it set at 7 o'clock, and it's still light outside. I'm just making sure my legs are the same length here. And they are almost there. All right, so you're going to get your white on. Get your white all on. And so I'm going to switch to the other guy now so I can show you stripes. We're going to put the stripes on first because I did not do that on the other one and it was a little bit hard. So I've got scarlet. You're going to draft out some pieces. We're going to make them. I kind of like to twist them a little bit. Pre-felt them a little. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have one inside of his boot. Let's start with 3. Let me get rid of this. I put the shoe, I finished the shoe before I finished the leg on this guy, and that was not a good idea. All right, so I'm going to line my stripes up. You don't have to. Now this, you have to be super persnickety. So we're going to wrap it around, and we want to keep them the same. Now that looks bad, right? But it's not. So we're going to felt up. This is already covered in the white. And I'm going to felt it down. Now, I hate, you guys know this about me, when I have other colors mixed in my white. So I'm going to try and catch all the stray fibers and keep them in the stripe. It's okay to felt all the way through, as long as you're coming out of your stripe on the other side. Just want to make sure that they're lined up with the other leg. And then we'll talk about one other thing here. So flip him over. It's good to work on a pad so his feet hang over. You can actually put these on before you put the feet on. It's probably a smart thing to do. So this is basically what you're going to do. Get your stripes on. I mean, I really only need to show you how to do one because I know it makes sense to you guys. So just one stripe. Now, when you're doing your stripes on your socks, these are not compression socks, so you want these to blend with the white. You don't want it to be ribbed. So you're going to felt until it all becomes one piece so that it's smooth and no stray hairs. None at all. All right. So now let's make some feet. I've been dying to show you this. This is fun. I'm going to teach you a new product. Well, some of you probably know about this product, but some of you don't. You need a silicone sheet. This is a silicone sheet. You don't have to use this. You could use a piece of wax paper if you don't have a silicone sheet. A silicone sheet is a great investment because it protects your surface. It's going to keep this stuff from sticking to anything else. You're going to need a piece. This is 2 millimeter wool felt. It's for the bottom of the shoe. And I dropped one. I'm going to actually end up gluing another piece on so it looks like there's a sole. So we'll end up cutting out 4 of those. I lost one, Cannon. Then you need modeling foam, and Cannon's going to put a link in the comments. I didn't find this one on Amazon. I think I got this at Michael's. I think Hobby Lobby has it. But he's putting an Amazon link into this. This is modeling foam, air dry sculpting foam. It's very lightweight. It's fun. It's fun. And it will dry. It takes 48 hours to dry. See, it's kind of like Play-Doh, but it feels weird. It feels like cornstarch. I like my feet not super huge, but you need them big enough to make a base so that your elf or your person will stand up. And once I get this covered, it's going to stand up fine. So they're oversized because normally I like my elves to have skinny feet with curly toes. Can't do it if I want them to stand up. And I wanted to show you guys how to make them stand up. You know what this feels like? It feels like those. I'm going to go back, way back in my childhood. Remember those orange, like, peanut things that you eat? That's what it feels like. Okay, so there is no hard and fast rule. Carolyn makes her feet bigger than I do. She actually advised me, and I didn't listen. She takes the model. She used air dry clay too. She takes this out and she weighs 2 pieces. She weighs hers. I eyeball it. This might not be enough. I might need some more. Not too much more. So this takes the sad part about this is it takes 48 hours to dry. So you have to be super patient. But make sure you're zipping it up. You know, closing up your bag. So it doesn't all dry out on you. Okay, so we have, look at that. It's like Play-Doh time. Now, I want you to look at your feet. And so we know it needs to be at least this long. I'll measure it for those of you like me to measure it, 2 inches. We're gonna make it a little bit longer because you don't want those wires to stick out. So I just roll it around, and you guys, this stuff is so lightweight. And I just start forming it. But we want it flat so he'll stand up. This feels like more than that. Like I said, she weighs hers so that they're exact. Yeah, I eyeball it. My left foot's bigger than my right foot in real life, so why not, right? I know one person that has to buy 2 pairs of shoes. And don't worry if stuff gets in it, because we're going to cover it. So we've got, it's really this easy. Now, remember, we got a heel back here. We want a heel. So kind of, you know how you have your heel sticks out further than your foot. So you want to come in. And I am just going to squish them down. Don't go all the way to the bottom. And it's like, hey, are you going to stand up, buddy? Oh, you are. Cool. Okay, so now let's form our clay. We could always add, it's somewhat like felting. The good thing about working on a silicone sheet is we know it's not going to stick. I'll show you how to smooth it out here in just a second. But right now I'm just squishing it together. It's kind of like making sourdough bread, Cannon. Air dry clay is heavier than this. So if you want more weight to your feet, we can see, oh, he's a little bit. Bend your knee, bend your knee. There. So now we have our feet on to watch. They're gonna come off, they're gonna be flat. Whoops, don't stick together because you're like marshmallow right now. Could you hand me a skewer, a skinny little skewer? And you don't have to get them perfectly flat. Your skewer that you always use for anything. Or if you have clay tools, I have some, but I want to show you how to use regular tools that you already have. I actually work it into the wool that's on the feet, and it does stick. It's not really going to matter if they're super smooth. I guess if you wanted to make pointy shoes, you could. The key here is just to make a base to hold up your figure. And then you have to set it aside and come back in 2 days. That's the killer of it all. That you have to do that because it takes 24 to 48 hours to dry. It's the weirdest feeling stuff. I'm gonna make a heel here. It's fairly easy to work with. Don't disturb the bottom of the feet. You can work anywhere else but the bottom. See how close I was to the other guy. See, that's the other guy's foot. Well, that's pretty close. So you don't have to weigh it, but you can if you want them exact. I imagine you could just paint these when they're done. I don't like that lump. So I'm just gonna... And, you know, full disclosure, this is the first time I've ever used this stuff. It was on the first guy's feet. And Carolyn was guiding me. All right, so we're going to set him aside now. And now we're going to cover. Mine has been curing for almost 24 hours. Oh, I see what I did. So there's our feet. Oh, can't stand on a pen, can he? And he will stand up. Ta-da! Okay, so let's put him aside to dry. And we'll go back to making some feet. So by now your feet are dry and you have all your stripes on your legs. Or maybe you're gonna do it backwards like me. But now I got my stripes on. All right, so now we're gonna build some shoes. The first thing you want to do is take your piece of felt and you are going to trace your foot onto your felt, and then you're going to cut it out. And I cut 2 per foot, so 2 for every foot. This one actually goes on this foot, and I'm actually going to glue this on at the end. It's just going to be the sole, or I could lace stitch it on. I haven't decided yet. Probably glue, because then it'll look like a real shoe. So we just want to make a sole. So you're gonna cut those out. I already have my 2 cut out for this guy. Right? All right. So we have those and those. This is going to go on here, and you can see it ends up a little bit bigger than your foot when you just trace around. Then the next step is we're going to make some fabric. because you can't felt into that foam. I felt my needle go into it because mine's not quite dry. So I'm going to make a 6" by 6" piece of green fabric. It's about, is that 6? Let's see if it's 6 tall. It's pretty close. So I'm laying it one way. And if any of you have ever wet felted, you know what's coming next. And a faster way to get this done, I've already thought about this, would be to use a piece of pre-felt on the bottom, underneath. So now I'm laying the opposite way. And you can't even believe it takes almost this whole piece to make one shoe, because you know it's going to shrink down here once we start felting. And it's better to have extra. And we might, who knows, we might use it as a collar or something later. All right, so let's stab the heck out of this. I don't worry if the edges are smooth. First I'm getting it connected. And then I'm going to just use my multi-tool. This has 7 needles. And it is in the effort. You could probably wet felt this too, I suppose. But I'm trying to keep it mostly needle felting with a little bit of interesting multimedia thrown in. I've always wanted to learn how Carolyn made her shoes, so this is how I did it. She uses air dry clay on her shoes, which makes them a lot heavier than these foam ones. So I'm just going to keep flipping it, and I'm going to keep stabbing the heck out of it until I have a pretty firm, you can see it's already starting to shrink all on its own. It's a good way to take out your aggressions. And remember, you don't need to jam it all the way down into the pad. You only want to go through your fabric, otherwise you're doing 10 times the work that you need to. Let's flip it. And we got that. I want it reasonably felted. If you want to, you can turn in those edges. Make it a little more solid. You don't have to. So if you're using a piece of pre-felt, this would go way faster, but it would need to be the same color as your green, or the color would come through when you flip it over from the pre-felt. Just keep flipping it often. So I'm going to use this tool for a second, because when I lifted it up, I saw I have a thin spot right in here, and I'm going to felt this way a little bit. Again, that's going to shrink it down. And I felt towards the center. Let's compact this a little bit. Sometimes it's easier to turn your pad than the piece. Let me see I still have a little spot right here. So it is good to look and make sure you don't have any too thin spots. Just add that piece in here. And I'm gonna go back at it. You can be methodical and go up and down. Doesn't matter, as long as we get the whole thing stuck together. Agitate those fibers so that they all combine. That's what we're doing. Tangling them up. Obviously, this is not strong enough to be a wearable garment, but we can see we're pretty firm. All right, so next, for our next, how do I tell you how to do this? This is an interesting thing. Okay, I want to cut it up the middle. So we're gonna find center and we're gonna cut it. All will become clear. So if you put this on, this is a little bit fiddly, just so you know. If we put this on, and now I'm going to start at the toe, okay? Where's my single needle? Start at the toe. And I suppose we can start this way. If you're a seamstress, you're gonna understand what I'm doing. I'm gonna go around a round. I'm overlapping this wool felt onto the edge of the sole. So then I'm gonna flip it over and we're on the very edge, just on the very edge. And then I'm going to play with it. This is the bottom where the wool is out wrapped around. And then is this going to be enough? It may or may not be. It is going to be enough. Okay. We know we need at least that much to the back. I'm going to cut this piece off. And then, so like I said, this is a little bit finicky. We're going to curve our shoe. Okay, you could probably use, oh, it's hard to explain here. See, I need this to be here. So I'm going to stab it a little bit. Let's get it on there. And we need this to go on this edge. Obviously, we will have way more, but not too much because we need it to fit. So if we felted this super tight, what I do next would not work. So there we have a little opening. Let's slide it on. See if it's gonna fit. And it does. So now you cannot stab in the foam. You have to stab along the horizontal surface. Now we're not quite attached here, so we're gonna pull that in. It's kind of like sewing on a curve. And again, there are probably better ways to do this, but this is how I did it to make my shoe fit. So okay, one of the things I do when I start working with the shoes is this. I sit him up, and now I'm going to form it to his foot. And I'm stabbing at an angle, hoping, again, don't stab through that foam. We're going to tighten all this up in a minute. Now, I went way over the bottom, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I just want it attached to this piece of wool felt. Because we're going to glue another one on, it doesn't really matter. But I don't like this edge to be messy. So let's get the back of his shoe on. We're going to need a little piece. So remember, I have these little scraps that I made. So we just need a little piece. And I'm just going to wrap it on here. I'm not worrying that it's too tall. And again, I'm going to felt sideways into the wool felt. Because we know you can't felt into the foam. You know, when you're building these humanoid, any kind of creatures, and you're putting clothes on them, a lot of the times you have to build the clothes right on them. We're going to overlap that, felt sideways into the existing wool. Now, right here, I like this to get super tight around his ankle, so we know we have an ankle. So let's pull this in. And you can actually felt into the leg at that point. Not the foam, the leg. See, I'm still felting sideways because now I'm along the foam. This is going to take a little bit. And we're going to do it real time so you see how long it really takes. You can use your double needle. I don't recommend a triple here at all. I work it around. I kind of feel what I'm doing here. My goal is to just tighten up this wool. I suppose if you wanted to be really picky, you could glue it on. You could cut actual shoe pieces and glue it onto the foam. Or, like I said earlier, I think you can paint that foam. I still need an ankle here. And we still need a heel, so we have a lot of work to do in there. His shoe's too big. I'm gonna pull it back. You know how when you're testing out your kid's shoe size, you can feel their big toe. Well, I can feel his whole foot. I thought about gluing it, but then if I needed to felt anything tighter, the glue would be in the way. So I'm just felting sideways. Let's get this all tightened up. If you've ever felted around something that's solid, you know that this is the way to do it. Just keep that center on the bottom. Oh, I'm coming off a little bit. Oh, I saw something flash out there. I wonder what that was.
There's like a laminated sign out there for the...
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, it's the glare off of that. It's blowing in the wind.
Oh, it's my UPS pickup and USPS pickup sign.
Yeah.
Did you see the new sign that says, "Come in, we're awesome"?
No, that's it.
It's on the wall out there. It's pretty awesome. It's an awesome sign. It says, "Come in, we're awesome." I like it. Obviously, I wouldn't have it on the wall. Our guest house is hopping these days. People from everywhere are coming. We have some people from France coming. I'm a little nervous. I don't speak French. I did take French in high school. And I know that they were communicating in French. So that will be cool. They're very excited to come to the farm. So as you can see, I have all this loose fiber. I wanna, and maybe if you pulled yours tighter, I just didn't want mine to come apart because I felted it pretty loose. So maybe if you felt more firm than I did. But you just slowly work it in. Slowly it will shrink to the size of the foot. You could probably cover these with fabric too. How fun would that be? Now I have this extra piece here. I'm gonna go up because we're gonna fold this. We're gonna fold the top of the boot down once we get it felted and make it a little fancy schmancy. You know, if you watch these videos and you're in Oregon, you should come to our meetup Monday because we laugh so hard about stuff. Oh my goodness. Just random stuff. And we eat good food. Charlotta made a pineapple cake this week. A white layered pineapple filled cake. It was delicious. Never had anything like it before. We were her test subjects. We're everybody's test subject when it comes to new recipes. So right now I'm just working on getting this firm. I have a lot of extra wool right here. And we don't really have a heel yet. So this is just going to take a minute to get all firmed up. I hope I'm in the camera frame. I have to bring it up high so I'm not looking down, you guys. Sorry about that. There's some new blending packs hitting the shop. Rainbow blending packs. They're pretty cool. They Corriedale and locks. I taught a new sheep owner how to dye wool on Sunday. Because she's always just sent her wool out to have it processed. And I'm like, why? Let me show you how to do it. And I think her 8-year-old daughter was more excited than her. So I see 8-year-old daughter dyeing wool locks here. Let's see what we're looking like. You do want your feet to be the same. And as you can see, this foot is way bigger right now. So we're gonna have to work on this for a while. So maybe I won't make you watch in real time. So I lied. We paused the video so that I could get it all stabbed. It took about 10 minutes to get this all stabbed. And I probably could stab it more. I probably will later. But I want to show you. So we stabbed so we have a heel. See, this all got tightened up, but there's still more. and I'm stabbing it into the leg. So he has a heel, and you can see it on this side, same thing, but I've been stabbing it up here into the leg. That really attaches the foot well to the leg. So now let's look at the other side. So I have this little cuff that I rolled down, and first I'm going to tighten this up a little. Just right along the edge. And you might have to add more. Well, I don't really, it doesn't really bother me how big this cuff comes out. And I'm going to have some layers, so let's hook those together. I'm actually going to attach this down here. Got a little fuzz. So I like it. Do you see how it looks like I have a cuff here? I made a little, let's make that. I'm going to leave this long and flip this up. I may have to add a piece back here. Roll over, guy, roll over. So tack this down a little bit. And when you roll it, you can attach these pieces together. I'm going to make a delineation right there. And I'm actually going to take an extra little piece. You can see my socks aren't totally felted well yet. And then on the back of this one, I did this fancy little over and under thing. I don't know why, I just did. It just happened that the felt laid that way. It is really windy outside. That does not bode well for all those fires that started. So all I'm really doing here, there's enough fiber underneath of this that you can just sculpt in your little cuff. Right here I'm still felting sideways to get it nice and smooth. I don't know if I like that yet. So right here, where it overlaps, we're going to think about this as where he puts on his shoes. I'm going to take just a little bit of red. I'm going to make a button. Gather it up with my needle. That's button number 1, and I put 2 on the other side. Oops, that was my phone, sorry, Canon. And you really want this to be a little bit relief, so it looks like a button. Notice I'm mostly felting on the edge of it towards the center. I'm not really felting in the center of it. So now his shoes both have buttons, and he has 2 shoes. And I have a little bit of felting to do on this one still. But basically, there it is. So that was step 3. Oh, wait a minute. One more thing. I did it on this leg already, but you can see I sculpted in a cuff right around the bottom of his pants. I haven't done it on this side yet, but I will. So basically, if you are felted hard enough, you're just going to make a little... Oh, he needs a little bit more green there. And then you can put a red button on this side, too, of his pants. So his little pants have a red button, too. Or you can do whatever you want, right? Because that's what felting's all about. So then your guy should stand up pretty well. I have not yet... Oh, the other thing I was going to do... And I'm just telling you, I'm going to glue these onto the bottom of his feet just to finish it off. So these will get glued on, and then the feet will look exactly the same. I'll use E6000 and glue them on. So a little bit of deviation from the norm. All right, you can stand up for me, guy. Obviously, you're going to have to work him a little bit, get his wires all crossed. My elf, I think, is going to have a stack. Yeah, he stands up good. Pretty funny, right? All right, so that is the end of our step 3. I'll figure out what we're doing for step 4 as I continue to build this elf. If you need supplies, Canon has a list of them below the video on YouTube. And then if you need, head over to liongate.org. You got to make sure you like this video and follow us because it really helps us out. But you said likes are the best, right? Likes are the best. So if you don't want to follow, you don't have to. But we want you to. And we'll see you next time.